live.
Whenever you're ready, Josh.
Welcome to the Wood and Work podcast. We are your hosts, Paul from JCR Builds and Josh from Josh Taylor Woodworking. It always messes me up when I say that. I say my name twice. Anyway, today we got a special guest all the way from the States. John from Wicks Woodworks. Whereabouts in the States are you from, John?
I live down in it's like Southern California, kind of by the Los
nice.
Angeles. Basically, it's Long Beach, but I'm about 30 minutes south of LA.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Nice.
Rough area or?
Yeah, Long Beach has it has a kind of it can be a little rough, you know. You got to kind of know where to stay out of, you know. But if you guys listen to 90s gangster rap ever, I don't know, but you know, Long
Yeah,
Beach is
Snoop's from Long Beach, isn't
yeah,
he? Yeah.
that's right.
Oh, you got to be careful what colours
you were
wear
just
around
born in the
there.
90s, weren't you, Josh? Just.
I was 1990.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, man.
What's funny?
No, I mean, you probably weren't listening to gangster rap at 3 years old, I'm guessing.
No, I weren't, but I got into it. 50 Cent was my era, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Little later, yeah, that's cool. No, I didn't even know I moved. I'm not from Long Beach, but my wife is. But so I moved. When I tell people I'm from Long Beach here, they have a very gangster view of it. You know, I didn't even realize that. 'Cause I don't live in that. You know, I don't even know. But
you live in the nice parts of Long Beach.
Well, I mean, it's not really gangster style, you know, but.
Oh, so what they call over here a woolly. So I get it as well because I live in Liverpool and I am actually from Liverpool, but although I didn't grow up here, so they call me a woolly because they say you're not a real Scouser. Like, well, I am. I was born in Liverpool and I live in Liverpool, so of course I'm a Scouser. And they call you. So if you say you're from somewhere, you're actually not. They call you a woolly over here.
Oh, okay.
So basically, you're a bit of a woolly from Long Beach because you're not actually from Long Beach.
Okay, yes, I'm definitely a woolly then. Yeah, for sure. I'm a poser, man. I'm from like a farm town, man, in the middle of nowhere with cows, and I mean, we would like party in orange groves growing up and stuff. That's
so
my reality.
Did you come from like an agricultural background then with the farms, or was it just in a semi-rural place you lived? Or
yeah, it was just semi-rural. It was about 10,000 people, and my family wasn't into agriculture and stuff, but my dad was kind of part of it because he was a well driller, so he would drill water wells for the farmers and stuff that needed to water their crops or whatever. That was kind of our role in that whole situation.
Well hole.
So talk to us about your woodworking, John. You're pretty big on Instagram. You know, 100k plus 112k followers actually. And you've grown pretty rapidly over a number of years, yeah?
Yeah, I guess that was kind of in spite of myself, I think. I don't know kind of how that happened. I was just trying to have some fun, you know, with some projects. And really, I think what happened was I accidentally put my son in a video, and he is clearly the star of the show, you know.
Oh,
So
yeah.
now, and that was not by design. It was by complete accident. But I think people started liking to see him in there. People get sick of I'm an ugly dude, man. They don't want to see my face around, but my son's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, you know, so they want to see him.
So you probably need to rename your channel, whatever your son's name is, and John.
I know. I need to maybe rebrand, man. That might be a good idea.
So is yours? Is it a home workshop you have? Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Out in your garage. It's quite a big double. I'd say big double garage, isn't it? You have quite a large area for a home workshop, at least.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's a one car, but for some reason it's like 6 feet longer than a standard garage here. I think it's like 26 by 16 instead of like 20 by 16 or something like that.
That's quite a large garage, but I suppose over in the States you have quite big trucks and stuff, don't you? So that's what makes the garages maybe a little bit bigger over there than the
probably
UK,
so. Yeah, just gluttonous people, you know, just horrible people as a whole, basically. Just overdo everything, you know, type thing. But
typical over-exaggerated Yanks.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So what got you into the woodworking side of things then? Have you over the years, or have you always done that, or?
No, that was a very, very much by accident too. My wife's grandpa was, or my wife's grandfather was a carver. He would like carve. He's a Norwegian guy, and he would carve. He's American, but he's like full blooded Norwegian dude, and he's all into Scandinavian stuff, or he was. Rest in peace. He passed away about 7 or 8 years ago. But anyways, when he did pass away, I inherited his scroll saw. I don't even know why. I didn't woodwork. I could barely use a drill. I didn't even really care about any of that stuff. And then I was at my brother's house, and he had a planter box that someone put together, just a real simple little plywood planter. And I have the scroll saw now, which I thought was a table saw. As far as I was like, I can build anything with this sucker. This is awesome. And so I told my wife I'm going to make her some planters. And I tell people this story. It's the honest to God truth. I was ripping plywood with a scroll saw, man.
Fucking hell.
Like, because I just was ignorant, I didn't even know what I didn't know.
Was it your sheet a bit sort of hard trying to balance that on the scroll?
Oh my God. It was just, I couldn't, I mean, I look back now and I just think, what a buffoon, I just had no clue, but so it was very accidental. That was my introduction into it. So I made those 2 planters. They were huge. These were monster planters. And then I made I don't know if do you guys have little free libraries, or do they do that over there? Yeah.
We have a lot of libraries in the UK.
So I made a little free library too. But
the free ones on the street, you have that in England?
Oh no, you get them in the nice areas. You don't get them around fucking Liverpool, do you?
I've never seen one in England.
Yeah, the ones they have around, the ones they have in Liverpool, mate, and they'll be full of drugs.
Nice. I like those then, yeah.
Yeah, honesty box. Please put your 60 quid for a gram of coke here.
Honor, you guys do honor system. I like that, man.
Yeah, some of the villages have the free libraries. Like the nice little quaint country villages.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about like a little box, like a little.
Yeah, I just have it in my front yard on a little. I mean, it's pretty small. It's maybe. I mean, you guys don't know how far that is on the video, but I mean, it's maybe 2 by 2 or something.
I mean, on my screen that was about 3 inches big. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, that's a small library, man. Yeah. We can fit half a book in there, man. It's pretty neat.
It was for the borrowers.
You got one on your at the front of your house, yeah?
Yeah, we just kind of. I made one for my daughter, and then we moved, and that one actually stayed, and then I thought I want to make another one, but it kind of ingratiated us to the neighborhood. We've been here now a long time, but it was like a stop in the neighborhood. People, just something new, even something as dumb as that, but
yeah.
But people still use it to this day. People will drive up, stop. Excuse me, man. I got like an air bubble. They will stop, park their car, and like adults will be in there like for 10 minutes rustling through these books, So it's kind of cool.
Does that not get on your nerves after a while, or?
Sometimes if I'm in the garage, yeah, I'll be like, come on, man, carry on, get out of here. And half the time in there cussing with my friends and slamming beers, it's hard to be yourself. But where are you, Josh? And you're in Australia, right?
I am originally from England, but I'm over in Sydney, Australia.
Oh.
We've been for last 8 years. Been planning to come back every year for the last 3 years, and now we're planning to come back. But now I've been hearing there's no work, not much work in England, like carpentry, building wise. It's slowing down.
Yeah.
So that's put me off. So I don't think we're going anywhere just yet.
Well, I don't think it's just that. I mean, just before you joined us, John. Because I'll have to put a jumper on. It's cold. It's like 15 degrees. I'm like, fucking hell, that's 15 degrees is roasting here.
Oh man.
we don't get. Well, we had a spell of hot weather. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, 15 degrees is about. I quite like 15 degrees. Nice.
You're
nice.
Close to going to the beach at 15 degrees, yeah. Are you in Fahrenheit, John?
That'd be fun.
What is it? Yeah, we're Fahrenheit. So you're talking Celsius.
Yeah, Celsius. So
that's
about 65. About 65.
Oh, okay.
I think the rule's to be like double it and then add 30 as a rule.
Yeah, I went on a trip to I went on a Norwegian cruise last year, and we went through Southampton was where we took it out of.
Yeah, the big docks down there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had it figured out. I thought I had it down, but I've completely forgot now because everything was in Celsius on the and we were the only. There was this. It was a cruise ship, and we were the only Americans on the whole ship. Man, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but we were about 4 out of maybe 20 on the entire ship, man. So we were fish out of water, and we had our kids with us, and this was like an old person cruise, like average age 75, no kids, and all from England that I could tell for the most part. But anyways, I thought I had Celsius Fahrenheit very, very dialed in then, but I have since forgotten all of it now.
Yeah, I think I can't, because obviously we don't. It's not something we use, and it gets me confused. But that's the good old metric and imperial system that the UK like to have, because again, we use both in lots of things. Do you know what I mean? We still buy doors in inches. Yeah, everything else is metric.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so a standard door is 30 inches wide, which is 762 millimeters. Now, the funny part is, in the 70s, I think it was, they decided to go to when we changed to the metric system, they changed the size of metric doors to metric. And they changed the height. So a standard height of a door is 78 inches. In your regular, 78 inches by 30, which is 1986, I think. No, 1981. It is height. So anyway, they changed the metric doors, thinking, oh, we'll be clever, we'll do these metric doors. And they made them 2040 high. And the widths are like 726 and 826, just like weird sizes. And you're like, that lasted for about 5 years, I think, maybe. So if you go into like some of the older council houses, they still have the old metric doors in. They have like glass panels above the doors now because you brought them down to make them to fit. Oh yeah, and then we went back to imperial doors because it's just so much easier. So yeah, even though you go and buy, so we'll go to the shops and buy a 4x2 or a 3x2, but you don't buy 8 foot, you buy it at 2.4.
Oh, interesting.
Josh's head's working here.
He's about to explode, man.
No, yeah, here's different. We got our doors are just 820 standard, and then 240,
32 inch. So 204. Yeah, so you've got the metric doors on
204.
820. Because that's what we said. We had 726 and 826 doors. So that'll be what yours is on. Is in those sort of sizes.
Yeah, that's just standard.
So that's about 32 inch, I think, on imperial, roughly.
Yeah, we're kind of like, I grew up with imperial, so I mean that's what I know and what Americans know, but I mean metric just obviously makes much more sense. I mean, it is so easy, the calculations, and I just wish with all my heart that we were metric, man. But
it does fit if you're working something out, like you've got obviously division. Because obviously a lot of woodworking there's a lot of maths in woodworking. And yeah, the metric system does work, but I find when I'm using a tape measure though, I mean, I do have some purely metric tape measures like the True 32 that I use and a few others. But quite often, if I'm on site, I don't always use metric. I'll use whatever's easiest. So I will also use imperial on the tape.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm putting it down and it happens to be easier to measure in imperial, I will measure it in imperial. And then if it's easier to measure in metric, I'll measure it in metric, because whatever is the easiest mark to correspond to what you need.
Yeah. Do you guys learn that at one point, or I mean, there's no reason to, or how did you come across, like, I mean, it's very confusing, I'd imagine, for especially comparing it to metric,
I mean, I was brought up, obviously I was brought up with metric. But because I first started off, I was a mechanic. So a lot of our stuff was actually still in imperial. So even though obviously it's the old 10mm nut, it wasn't the 10mm nut we always used to lose. We used to use 3/8. So there was a lot, and also I used to work on a lot of older cars. So I used to build race cars, which were from the 50s and 60s. So they were all imperial. So I had an upbringing of imperial in the early days. And then because obviously when I moved into joinery, I was taught by what I call the old school joiners. So because the old school joiners had been taught in imperial, they then passed on their knowledge, and I got taught in imperial.
Okay, well that makes sense. So you got the
So-
best of both worlds, then, man. That's
Yeah,
cool.
so I mean, obviously, if it comes to division, I won't work out what I don't know, 18 inches and 3/8 and 2/16 or whatever the fuck. I don't work it out like that. I'll use metric,
Yeah.
but I will use. If someone says to me 3/4 or whatever, I'll automatically it's 19 mil. I'll automatically work it out in my head, so I can flip between the two quite. I find I can flip between the two quite easily.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's very fortunate. I'll see some plans online, or I'll be watching a YouTube video, and they'll say plans in the description, but it'll be metric, and I'm I'm hosed because I don't have any natural like immediate computation in my head of like 3/4 inch. I would have no idea what that was metric in millimeters.
Yeah, so it does come quite handy, especially because as you say, like again, the YouTube videos I would watch quite often are people like Michael from the States. And again, because you're talking in Imperial, I can just understand the video straight away because I know exactly what. I mean, obviously, there might be some measurements on there that they're talking about. I have to think about. It takes me a minute to work out what 18 inches is or whatever, but
Yeah,
it's 1.5 foot. So I then okay, that's 450. So I can work it back quick enough. But yeah, it does come quite handy just to be. But I think with joinery and woodworking that we are generally quite multi-skilled trade.
Mm-hmm.
I've picked up plumbing, plastering, all sorts of other trades. I'm not saying I can do it to the extent as well as a plumber or a plasterer or dry
Right.
liners as you call them. But I can get by, and I think just generally woodworking that we do that we do a lot of multi trades to a point.
What do they call it in the States? Dry lining.
Dry lining?
Dry lining, drywall.
Oh, drywalling. Yeah, drywall.
They call it gyprock in here. They call it. You ever heard that?
Well, gyprock's the gyprock's actually the company name that makes it.
In England as well.
Yeah, gyprock.
well.
There's a big plant up in I think what it's called, York.
They must be massive then.
Yeah, but gyprock's actually a company brand.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a brand.
Yeah, nice. So, are you full time woodworker, John? Part time? What do you do?
No, I'm just a hobbyist woodworker. I actually, believe it or not, I do loans. I would do mortgages in my real life. But I just started. I was in telecom for about 20 something years, and then COVID was kind of a weird time for people in telecom. It just kind of transformed the whole. Everyone went remote, and then I think people realized they didn't really need that office phones. They kind of made do without it. Kind of were forced into that. And anyway, it was just a weird time, and it was like I had like a COVID type layoff from my job. But I honestly, it was kind of a silver lining type situation because I was miserable there, man. It was just absolutely miserable. So, anyways, I accidentally get into everything, right? But I accidentally got into loans because my mom was like a 35-year loan officer type thing. So I was like, well, I got to do something, I guess, But what I do like about it is that it does give me a lot of free time to like tinker around the shop, as a hobbyist woodworker.
Yeah, cool. What about because you got such a big following? Do you get sent any stuff for free or like?
Yeah, I've had quite a few little sponsorship type situations.
Oh yeah, talk to us about
that. It was cool, man. I was so happy to get my first one. Just man, a tool for a video. I mean, that sounded
whoa.
Yeah, that's a thing, wow, that just makes my day. So I was actually, there's a company here called Max Tool. We don't work together anymore. Nothing, no bad feelings. It just kind of, there was nothing else to grab, they'd be like, go to my site and see what you want. And I'm like, do I really need anything that I just had everything at this point, So anyways, it didn't go sour, but we don't work together anymore. But that was a great one. I got a lot of tools from them. I got a Makita miter saw, and then I traded that in for a rigid. And I thought I broke the internet, man. People were pissed, dude. How could I do that, man? But I didn't care. But I mean, I don't know. You guys probably see it too. But people are very passionate about their tool brands, man.
Oh yeah, it comes up on a. It's one of those regular conversations that comes up. Tool brands. very much so.
How dare you trade Makita for rigid? How dare
Oh
you?
man, I know. What a jerk.
Blasphemy.
And I was like, man, nothing I make square anyways. What do I care if it has a little wobble on the end of the slider? That doesn't mean anything to me. That means nothing at all. But what I did like about the rigid was, I mean, generally I would say Makita's probably better than rigid. I'm not a tool snob though. I don't care, but I would say generally speaking, probably.
I would say it is a more of a premium brand, yeah.
Yeah. And I understand that from their point of view. But it has the shadow line. You know how the DeWalt had the shadow line
Yeah.
thing? The rigid has that too. And
Ooh.
that to me that's a winner for me, man.
I must admit, because I've got the Capex 60
Uh-huh.
and that has the shadow line. Now, the 120 has the laser line. I don't like laser lines. Now, I've had Makitas with a laser line. I've had a Bosch with a laser line. I'm talking about over the last 15 years or so. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I always found with the laser line ones that the laser, you can't see it in a lot of lights because obviously it's a laser. You can't, it knocks far too easy. And all you have to do is go and it's out.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just not as accurate. And one thing I do love about the Capex 60 is the shadow line. I think that it's so much accurate, isn't it? Because you can actually see exactly where the blade's going to be.
Yep.
Every time. So if you put a shitty blade on for whatever reason, it's still going to show you the curve of that blade, isn't it? Because it's the shadow of the blade.
Right.
And yeah, I'm in agreement. I much prefer a shadow line.
And I was gonna so at first, at least over here, it might be different in where you guys are respectively, but 'cause I know different tools for different places, I think, countries. Why? 'Cause I hear about it, but at any rate, the DeWalt was the only one that had it here, the shadow line. But the problem with the DeWalt was it had to be like 3 feet from the wall because like I'm moving the wrong way, but the sliders came off the back of the slide.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, how the Capex comes off the front, right? It's a brilliant design. Yeah. So I didn't want that DeWalt because I didn't have that much space off my wall, But now the rigid, which is actually Delta, I've come to learn, it's just a rebranded Delta cruiser, basically. It comes off it has those arms that kind of bend and kind of do one of these numbers into the front,
I'm feeling that these tool companies are all owned by one company because Rigid does what? AEG.
Yep.
Rigid does Delta. Rigid
Evolution.
does Rigid.
Evolution tools are the same.
Yep.
Rigid.
Yeah, they're exactly the same. Because I've just been given that
it's
Evolution.
It's just like one big company that's just doing spin-off companies just to
Evolution.
suck up the whole market.
I know. You're right, man. It's crazy.
But Evolution Tools is also Rauber, which is Screwfix.
Huh? Who?
So the Evolution stuff that I just had the new circular saw off Evolution. Not a bad little saw, to be fair. It's done well for what it is. So that is the same as the AEGs, the Rigids. It's just the UK rebranded stuff, with our little logo on. So it's the same as the Rauber, which is Screwfix's own brand. So you can use it with all the same Screwfix stuff. It's exactly the same.
So all the batteries work between one or the other, or have they figured out a way to make you buy different batteries?
No, they're all the same, which is I think it's pretty good.
Yeah,
the fact
that's
of
awesome.
You can, so like because obviously with the Evolution, like say, the same as the Rigid, it's more of a budget entry level. It's not your top line by any sense of imagination. Good tool. I'm not knocking the quality, for what they are. Because obviously the price points is far less. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, literally. So the saw, you can take the battery off. I could go and buy a drill from Screwfix for £30 and put the battery on. So I think it's quite good how they are interchangeable because battery. I mean, a Festool battery is 130, 140 quid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're expensive, obviously. I mean, how many tools will that buy of some of the budget stuff? So, do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Value for money almost, isn't it? When you can interchange that. I mean, you can also get the adapters. I don't know how much you get the adapters over in the States. There's one company which is more of a reputable brand, should we say, called Badapter. And so, like, I have a Ryobi air gun nailer.
Yep.
Really good little nailer. So it's the air. What's it called?
Airstrike or something?
Airstrike, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I absolutely love it. I think it's a cracking tool. Because I had the Pazloads, I've had the DeWalts, and they all fucked up that easy. Didn't like them. That Ryobi, I've had it 3 years now. It's not missed a beat.
Yep.
But anyway, because I had DeWalt batteries, I bought a little adapter. So it has an adapter that clicks into the Ryobi that I use with DeWalt batteries.
I've seen that. Now that you say that, yeah, that's cool, man.
So I've got that, and I use one of the DeWalt batteries in it, and little 2-amp battery, so it's still nice and light. It's brilliant. That Ryobi, honestly, that Ryobi nailer. I mean, it's £170, I think, roughly these days. Bear in mind, a Pasload's 500, so it's a third of the price.
Yep.
It hasn't got gas, which is another problem we have in the UK because of the gas guns. So it has a gas and a NiCad. So the gas gets cold, doesn't work. And obviously, with the UK temperatures, it's not ideal, is it? That.
So I had that same Airstrike Ryobi, man. I loved it every second of it. I still have it. It's my backup.
I've got their game, Ryobi. They've they had a bit of a bad rep five or so years ago, and now it's like they're coming into more of a premium brand. They're sort of pushing that way. I feel like.
I think the tools are improving on there, but I mean, the only problem is with the Ryobi is, and it's the same with a lot of the cheaper end tools. They go, oh right, we want a torch, and they'll go and knock up a torch, and it's out within a week. Do you know what I mean? Maybe a week, maybe a month, but it's out super, super quick. And it has a lot of problems because they haven't researched it, they haven't done it properly. They'll see if it sells. If it sells, they'll do a decent one, and then they'll make a new version of that torch or whatever. So, because the market wants it. Whereas if you go to one of the proper tool brands, I say proper, your big name brands like Makita, DeWalt, Milwaukee, Festool, all the big names, they will spend months and months and months and months and months developing that tool first and then putting out a good tool. So that's why you don't see a billion different Festools or Milwaukee, say, and you do with Ryobi, because Ryobi will literally go and buy. They'll think, oh shit, right, we now want a 10-volt hacksaw. Let's make one.
Yeah, exactly.
and it's on the shelves within weeks.
Yep.
And then when they don't go very well, you see like what's his name, John Malaki. He buys them on his channel now in the big boxes, doesn't he? And he ends up with a big box of the shit that they don't want because they don't sell. Because he started buying those big Home Depot boxes and stuff on it now.
Oh yeah.
The big return boxes you get sometimes. The big couple of $1,000s.
Yeah.
I mean, his most recent one, he bought this big box. I don't know if you've seen the video. And the box must be a good 4 foot square, like cube. And there must have been something like 3,000 hole saws in it.
Oh my god.
It was just hole saw after hole saw after hole saw after hole. And it was like, I think they lied to me.
Sheesh, man.
I mean, it was all brand new in packaging, Milwaukee hole saws.
Yeah.
But I mean, who needs 500 6-inch hole saws?
Not me, that's for sure.
So what is he doing? He's buying like a
returns panel
box.
Yeah, a returns panel from like Home Depot. So the big stores, I mean, I don't know what you got in the. I mean, they don't do so much, do it in the UK, to be honest. But generally, if you go to like your big Home Depots, B&Q, those sort of places, and you say this tool's fucked, you throw it back at them, and they give you the money back. They don't care because, whatever. Big store, they don't care. So they go in the returns box, and they might be okay because a lot of people will go and buy a tool, do the job, take it back, saying it's broken. It's not. They just don't want to pay for the tool. And they've got the tool for free, and the job's done. And then they sell off these boxes to unsuspecting knobheads.
Yeah, very, very odd. And I was on a podcast on Wednesday, actually, and it was all fucked up, man. I mean, it was the worst thing ever. And I think it was on my end. I blame myself, but he got none of the video. So it's a voice only. He just told me today. And I'm not surprised that something.
Oh, right. I was saying that. I don't know if it's Josh. I think Josh is gone as well.
No, just fucking with you.
You dick. So basically, Josh is just frozen still like a statue, then being a dick. For those that are just audible listens.
It was really hard to control my breathing.
Now John's gone again.
That is.
Nope.
Oh, fuck, his mic's gone.
Oh, yeah. So Josh is just jinxes because John's just disappeared again for a little second again.
Damn.
Oh,
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah,
There
you're
we
back,
go.
mate. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think you're just fucking with us, John.
Yeah. Yeah, we had this.
I'm not that clever.
I actually had a problem with Pat the other week. Keep pushing it Woodworks.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we couldn't get his camera wasn't connecting, so I ended up with audio only with him, and that went out on Saturday.
What
Yeah.
podcast was you on last week, John?
It was on this Wednesday. It was on. Do you guys know Matt Voltner? It's Voltner Woodworks, I think. Voltner Woodworking.
Where's he based?
He's in Texas, but he has a pod. I think the name of his podcast is Maker's Lounge or something.
Oh, I've heard of Maker's Lounge. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the name of it. Super cool guy, very nice, very patient, because I was like I said, I was having all kinds of problems, man, and I don't know if it was what. I think it might have been just my internet, so I rebooted. But anyways, not surprising.
I'll just message him in a bit and say, haha, we got John on, we got visual as well.
Yeah, I'll rub it in, man. I'll let him know.
Yeah,
So
it seems to be quite good. I mean, we started this podcast just out of it just happened. Do you know what I mean? By accident almost. But they seem to be quite popular, and people are seeming to really enjoy doing the podcast now. And
yeah,
when we generally ask someone to come on, like yourself, to come and join us, everyone jumps out the chance. Everyone seems to be really into doing it.
yeah, I love it, man. I think it's fun. I think it's a good way to meet some new, like, similar-minded people and talk about stuff you're both interested in, and never gets old for me. I mean, I love talking about woodworking. I love every part of it. So it's cool.
Yeah, nice. So I just want to check up this guy's podcast. What was it called again?
I
Maker's
believe
Lounge.
it's called Maker's Lounge. Yeah, I think.
Okay. Yeah, Maker's Lounge. We'll check him out.
Yeah, we've. I think it does ring a bell. I mean, it's funny though. You say that with the podcast and stuff. I don't listen to podcasts at all. Yeah, here I am.
Here you are hosting one.
Yeah, I think you're coming up to being close. I think you're about episode number 25, John.
Oh, okay, cool, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
So we're still a fledgling channel.
But, did you guys know each other before, or how did you guys cross paths?
No, so we actually met because we're both starting to go down the content path. And I just messaged Josh just because of his Instagram page and what have you. And I messaged him saying, do you want to sort of have a chat and maybe be able to help each other out here, with the content side, and see what, if one of us hits a problem, we can sort of like bounce ideas off each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just started talking from there. And then those chats, I think Josh came up with the idea because we were just having a video chat every week, just chatting shit and whatever. And he went, there's a podcast to be had out of this. And I was like, what? Really? And it's not something that ever crossed my mind because I don't listen to them. I mean, when I'm in the shop, I'll just put my earphones on and I'll listen to music while I'm doing whatever. But I don't listen to audio, as in podcasts and stuff. And yeah, he's like, yeah, we'll get a podcast. And so we thought, well, why not? And then we did a few of us just chatting shit with the first half dozen. Then we said, let's start getting some people on. And it's just really turned a corner for us.
That's great, man.
And, I love I actually quite enjoy doing these chats. I mean, it's a good job. I mean, I got up at 3 a.m. to do this one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. What a guy.
It's just interesting. Did you say I met some cracking people? And I mean, I've always had like good results with messaging people and getting people getting back to me generally on Instagram. As in, when I was talking before the podcast, and I messaged people like I spoke to Mike Allman an awful lot. And he was super helpful. I spoke to Miles an awful lot, with Miles. So I spoke to a lot of the big names and accounts, so to speak. And they always replied, and I've had a lot of help and chats with them. They've been both great guys. And and I just thought, it's cool, this, you know what I mean? And then from that, if we didn't have the podcast, we probably wouldn't have had the chance. I probably wouldn't have ended up talking to you on a video chat.
Yeah, no,
Because
it's awesome.
You don't. I know we interact on our social medias, but that's as far as unless you do these sort of things, those sort of connections go. They don't go any further, do they? Generally,
Yeah.
with a lot of people, and I think it's great because we've met so many people that we wouldn't normally meet or not associate with, but like we had Jerry on from Grantland Timber, so he was telling us all about the forestry side of things and responsible growth and all that of the forest.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm actually going to go up in autumn, and he's got an old sycamore tree there. We're going to fell, and I'm going to go up for the weekend, and we're going to fell and mill the tree.
Awesome.
I wouldn't have got that experience if it hadn't been for the podcast.
Well, you're going to take the whole tree home.
Imagine that, mate. It's enormous. It wouldn't fit in my house, mate. It's that big.
You'd be putting it on your driveway. Yeah, I bet you're going to take a couple of slabs home now. You're not going to leave it.
Oh yeah, you gotta get some cookies, man.
Oh, I'm taking fucking all of it. He doesn't know I'm going down to me 3.5 ton wheelbase.
Do you reckon? Do you think your missus would let you like bring it?
You have seen my lounge, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
I got that.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still there.
And I've got that bit. Yeah, of course it is. So in my lounge, John, I've got a stack it's just about knee height of spalted beech drying. It is literally knee height. It's about 30 planks there.
When did it finish drying, do you know?
Yeah, about 6 months ago.
6 months ago.
And do you reckon, is he going to charge you for this tree? He probably will charge you some money, won't he?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, yeah, I'll probably get some bits off him like when I'm down there. Obviously not to get some from his mill. But no, it's just I just wanted to go down and sort of because I'm used to obviously doing it. I buy the piece of wood. I might get rough sawn and I'll process it myself. That's not a problem. But that's where I get the wood from. I've never done the other part of the journey. So I think it'll be nice to complete the tree. Take the tree down.
Yeah.
Mill it, get a piece from that tree, and make something from it. Because then the whole process has been done start to finish. I mean, one of my other friends, Nick James Designs, he's based up in Newcastle. He does that. He actually mills his own timber from a big country estate, and he makes fine furniture from it all. And it's really cool seeing him how he actually just mills the trees from stood in the ground, growing effectively to a lovely sideboard or a table or a chair or whatever it is he makes from it. I just think it'd be nice just to do that other part of the process that we just wouldn't do otherwise.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Absolutely.
Then you can wax all poetic, about that. That's really cool, man. Tree in the ground by the side of you on a side table. That's neat.
Yeah. It's just, I say, it's just great. I say, shows you almost the power of social media these days, doesn't it? To a point, in a good sense, for a change, because obviously social media has
a dark side.
Very dark. Yeah,
it does, doesn't it? We all know about the dark sides.
But John, have you had any
Yeah, you must have had some
hate speech with 100,000 followers.
You must have done with the sort of videos and stuff you do. You must have some stories for us.
Oh my God, the trolls are the worst, man. Jeez, Louise. I used to get it really bad, and then I started. I actually like because I mean it doesn't mean shit to me. I don't give a fuck, man. Like what you're saying or. I'm just having fun. I don't claim to be good. I don't claim to be anything. I just like doing it, so you can't get me down no matter what you say. So I'm saying all that to say this, that I took on a stance of just agreeing with whatever they said. I just go, you are correct. And, you are absolutely right. Why would I do that? But I like the engagement because engagement's good. Engagement is a great thing no matter what it is. So I try to like, oh, is that right? Or I want a little bickering, but it's mainly I just want some engagement out of it.
I like it.
Exactly. So it's kind of like it's almost like kill them with kindness, I guess. In real life, I'm actually much more apt to tell you where to stick it, But on but online, it's such a effort and futility. There's just no reason. I'm not gonna be a keyboard warrior against someone, and it's
You're
just
wasting your time,
yeah, it's a complete waste. So
I was actually thinking about doing a video of all my hate speech, just because it's so funny. I got someone was like, "You deserve a hot day in the sun." Someone called me a weak little girl. Someone called me an idiot. Someone said, "Grow a pair of balls." Like, it is.
I know, but to be fair though, all the above are correct.
That's what I mean. I sat there and I laugh and I think, "Fuck!" Someone says, "Get a real job," or "You're not a carpenter," or "Don't quit your day job." It's like it just. Woof.
Yeah, it just never ends, dude.
Yeah, I like that one. Don't quit your day job. Like, hang on a minute, but this is what I do for a day
This
job.
is my day job. Yeah, literally, man.
Sometimes I think, fuck, I'm not even that good at this fucking shit. Sometimes I actually get the show. It's like, oh well, I just gotta keep on going.
Yeah, and what I think it is too is like most of the coolest stuff. Like I make a lot of dumb shit, but some things I'll be kind of proud of. But it's always those things that I feel like they tear down the most. Like they feel they need to for some reason, or I don't know. I've never once in my entire life scrolled at someone's thing and said something negative, whether I thought it or not. I just move on. I would never do that. I just.
Just think how shitty their life must be.
Right.
To take time out of their day to come on your feed, comment on your post, something negative. Like they got to be in a shit place to do that,
Yeah, I actually, that's a great point, Josh. I kind of had that epiphany, and it was just like I got to a place where it's like I just kind of feel sorry for this person, I mean,
you got to come for like fuck. They got a fucked up life to do that.
Yeah, hey man, I'm just a dumb shit in Long Beach, just hanging out with my son, making dumb stuff, I mean, I don't know anything. I don't claim to know anything, just
leave me alone.
Leave me alone, bro. It's all good, man.
Right, I think that's a good point to wrap it up for today on today's podcast. What do you reckon, Paul?
Yeah, I'm good with that. As normal, we'll leave links to John's social media in the description. If you have any questions for any of us, including John, you can contact us all on our social media pages or the Wooden Work podcast page. Thank you very much, John, for joining us.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Mate.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, and as normal, this will be on all Audible platforms and on YouTube. Thanks very much, and we shall see you later.
See you guys.
See ya.
Hey, Josh, real quick. Do people tell you look like Jamie from Ted Lasso, man? Or is that just, do you watch Ted Lasso ever? Or?
No.
Oh, I don't, maybe it's just how you look right here, man. But I mean, you're like doppelganger.
Jamie.